everyone. So today's agenda will be to talk about test NG, right? Why it is required, why we need it, and everything. And um, this is like very important topic, especially when you are working with Selenium. Okay, so this is the very basic test framework. Now, to understand more about what is TestNG and all, you should go to its official website. Okay, so let's go to its official website. The official website is testng.org. Testng.org. So you can read about it that TestNG is a testing framework inspired by from JUnit and NUnit, but introducing some new functionalities that make it more powerful and easier to use. You may get confused about the framework part. That's why let me create a simple program first so that you will understand why we are again and again saying TestNG and all. Okay. So here, I am creating a new package. Package name is, let's say, automation. Okay, finish. Inside that, I'm creating a class to do some automation. Okay, so let's say the class name is, as of now, I'm keeping it test ng demo one, and let's write our code. So how you will write, let's say there is no framework, how you will write your test case? You will start something from here, right? And let's say this will be start of your test one, start test one, and end of test one, correct? And in between some test case will come, means the code to open the browser and, you know, open website, follow some steps, right? So here, let's assume the code for test one will come. Am I correct? Test one will come. In the same way, don't assume that it will be just one line of code. It will be like multiple lines of code for test one and then for test two, right? It will go on. Then test number two will start, and this will be test two, and start of the test, end of the test two, start of the test two, and then test number three code will start, and then you will be doing something to do all the steps and end of the test three. So if you will write the code in this way, it will be difficult to maintain. It will be difficult to maintain. If there is any change, you have to go everywhere to change it, first of all. Second thing is, you don't know which functionality is there to follow some steps, right? You're getting me? The thing is, there may be 50 steps for the test one. There will be again, let's say, 20 lines of code for the test two. There may be again, as let's assume, 10 lines of code for test three. And in that way, there may be 50 test cases, right? So if there is a change, let's assume this is my website and something is changed. Something is changed. So for example, let's assume, let's go to our website itself. Let's assume that the ID for this email, ID for this email box is changed or XPath is changed, right? So you have to go to all the places wherever that change will affect your test flow, right? So it will be difficult to maintain. Moreover, you are not able to give any name to your test cases here. You cannot give the priority. Let's say you want to execute these things first, right? You don't want to execute test one, right? So it's difficult to maintain if you're writing it like this through Java programs, main function or different function. You may do one thing is writing functions, right? You can put this code in function number one and then call it. You can put this code in some other function and call those, correct? Call that function and so on. That is also fine. But then what about the report? When I'm executing it, let's say when I execute this, right? Are we getting any kind of report that test number one is passed, test number two is failed? No, it is doing its own step. I'm able to follow, I am able to execute all the steps, but there is no report. So to resolve all this problem, test NG or the JUnit, JUnit and test NG is most of the part is same. There are two frameworks and these frameworks are not, automation framework. It's actually unit testing framework, right? So it was invented like unit testing framework, right? For the developers. But then we can use it with Selenium. So let's understand. Selenium is different thing. TestNG is different thing. Even if you are not writing Selenium code, you can use TestNG to do some other things, right? Like unit testing and all. It's not mandatory to use TestNG. Both are different things. But we can utilize the capabilities of TestNG to write our code as a test case. So that we will see. If you read about its properties, its advantages, they have mentioned that it has annotations. You can mention how my test class should be, how to execute it. You can run it in parallel. You can configure your test case. Data-driven testing is possible. It supports the parameter. We will see this thing. Powerful execution model. Variety of tools and plugins. Bean shell and further flexibility. JDK functions. Default JD function for running and logging. Yeah. Dependent method for application server testing. We will see this thing. So to start with this, what they say is you have to get test ng jars to start with this. Correct. So how to get those jars from there are two ways. Just a minute. In their official website, you can go to the download, and you will get it. So here it's saying if you are using Maven project, you can add this dependency, or there must be a way to download the jar directly from somewhere. Okay. So there is some other ways also. It's saying that you can go to Eclipse Marketplace and add TestNG. That is also fine. There is a GitHub repository to get the jar. That is also fine. So there are multiple ways to get TestNG jar. Okay. The simplest way I can tell you is getting it through a website that is called MVN Repos, mvnrepository.com. Go there, mvnrepository.com. Okay, this one, and search for TestNG. Search for TestNG. So when you do that, you'll be able to see this. I'll click here, and the latest version is 7.8.0, this one. So I will click here, and here I'm able to see files. There is a jar option available. So this is the jar I should get. If I click here, it is downloading in my download folder. So I should get that jar in my downloads. I got it. Okay, fine. I have that, and that's it. So what I will do, I will go here. I will add that jar in my project. So I will say right click on your project, add build path. So configure build path, and in the class path, I'll say add external jar. In add external jar, sorry, it's there in my download as of now. So I have to go to my downloads and select this. Or you can keep all the jars at one place. That will be better idea. And for this project, actually, I have not added the Selenium one also. So I am going to the Selenium part. Hold on. You must be having already. This is my another system. So I have to add all Selenium jars again. So I have added all Selenium related jars also, and apply and close. Now, what you can do is, instead of writing this code like this, just, I will do the same thing in annotations. So I will write @test. If I do control space, it will give me option to import something. So that is org.testng.annotation. And here I'll write it as a function. So I'll say, let's say this is my check one or test one. You can give any name. And here I will write my test one code. Same thing is for test two and test three. So I'll copy this and I will write code like this: @test, then public void check2, and the code is this. Okay, and this test number 3. So that code, I am putting it here, and I will say public void check3 and the code. Okay. Now, when you are working with the TestNG, there is no need of main function. Delete that. Okay. No need of test ng function. Sorry, no need of main function. Now your question should be, if there is no main function, how it will be executed? So we have to execute in test ng context or as a test ng program, right? It's like unit testing program. Okay. So it works with, where are the test cases? Those functions will be executed. If I right click here and say run as test ng test, I will be able to do it. You may not be able to see this option, test ng test. Have you guys already added test ng from the Eclipse marketplace? Tell me quickly. Are you able to see run as test ng test in your system? No, right? So let's add test ng library in Eclipse itself. In Eclipse itself. So how we will do, we will follow this step. Okay, even if you have not written anything like this code, right? What I'm doing, follow that. Go to help and Eclipse marketplace. There is one option, Eclipse marketplace. So from here, we can add third-party plugins to your Eclipse. It's like this. It may take some time to open it properly. Wait for that. It's opened for me. Here, there is a find. So here I am searching test ng. Enter. And here you will see test ng for Eclipse. Okay. And you will be able to see a button install. Once you click it, if it will ask you something to accept, it will ask you something to, select something, say select all. Click on next, 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 and finish. And it should be done. Okay. It may take 1 minute, let's say, but it should be done. So the quick way, another way to install this test ng is go to the help, add new software. You will come here, click on add, give a name, let's say test ng, provide the URL. URL is this. This URL you can get it from test ng download page. Here, if you see install from update site. So here they have given that, follow this step and this one. And that's it. Then you can click on add. If it asks you something to select, select all and click on next, accept, done. Okay. So this is the way you can add TestNG library to your Eclipse. Now TestNG library we need for our project. So how to do that? So go again to your project, say properties, and just a minute. You can simply go to libraries, module path, say add library, and now you should be able to see test ng as an option here. So I'm able to see this test ng option. I'll click on next and I'll say finish. So I am able to see TestNG library now, and I'll say apply and close. That's it. Okay, it's giving me error. I'm checking what it is saying. Sorry. Here, if you get an error, they are saying add TestNG library. So I'm doing it. Okay, hold on. I am going back, and instead of adding at module path, I'll remove it and I'll add it to class path. So I'll say add library test ng finish, apply and close. Now there is no error. So actually we should add it in class path, not the module path. Fine, done, done. Now, once it is done, now if I'll run my code, it's saying me some error. Okay, we'll see that error, don't worry. It's showing me some error. No issue. We will resolve it